The importance of aviation to any country's national economy is immense, and it takes a deliberate plan to develop this critical industry. That's coming from the Executive Director Operations of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, Aminu Ismail. He was speaking at a recent event in Lagos.
Aviation is not just a critical sector, but a strategic core component of any economy or country that wants to compete on a global scale. If Nigeria must compete, our only option is to have a sustainable, vibrant, and dependable aviation sector. Therefore, intervening in aero for us, as indeed all other airlines that we've had to be involved in, is and continues to be a national assignment that is structured to help rebuild not only Aero as the oldest airline in the country, but the aviation sector as a whole and the Nigerian economy in general.
Of despair hangs on the faces of some of the returnees, as 136 of them arrived at Port Harcourt International Airport in Rivers State. This is the fifth batch of stranded Nigerians to return to the country through the evacuation window of the federal government. And as it has been recorded in the past, some of the returnees need urgent medical attention.
The most important thing is that I'm alive, because if I tell you what I passed through there, you may not understand. It's a journey of life and death. It's a journey that if you come back, you need to tell God, thank you. We passed through many things from the hands of Libyans, people, their wife, their husband, everything, from the prison to prison. They will sell you from one person to another.
The plight of these returnees may have been compounded by the failure of some state governments to come to their aid. So far, 2,051 stranded Nigerians have returned through the federal government's planned evacuation program. China's Civil Aviation Administration has approved the first state-level pilot program for delivery drones in Jian City in northwest China's Jiangxi province. Aiming to build a multi-mode air logistics network and explore the operation and regulatory standards for drones in China, CAAC approved China's second-largest e-commerce player, JD.com Incorporated, to participate in the first national pilot program and test delivery drones on a large scale. Emirates and Airbus firmed up an earlier memorandum of understanding and signed a contract for the 20 additional A380s with the further 16 options to be confirmed at a later date. The total agreement for 36 aircraft is valued at $16 billion based on latest lease prices. Deliveries are to start as early as 2020. The agreement was signed at the World Government Summit by His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Said Al Maktoum, the Chairman and Chief Executive, Emirates Airline and Group. British Prime Minister Theresa May making her way to the Bombardier factory with the company's President for Aerostructures and Engineering Services, Michael Ryan. She's here ahead of a meeting with leaders of Northern Ireland. Canadian-owned Bombardier, the region's largest manufacturing employer, was part of a trade dispute with the United States in 2017. After the U.S. government placed a preliminary 220% tariff on the plane maker's C-Series jets, which are partly made in Northern Ireland, potentially risking 4,200 jobs in the British province. In January, the U.S. International Trade Commission voted that the U.S. aviation competitor Boeing was not damaged by the C-Series planes, halting the tariffs from being imposed. She also met with many of the workers working in the facility. Away from the facility visit to the Russian plane tragedy, has grief-stricken relatives of the passengers of a Saratov Airlines flight that crashed shortly after taking off from Moscow to Orsk came around to seek information about their loved ones at Orsk Airport. All 71 people perished in the crash. Russian investigators are looking into the cause of the accident and are considering all possibilities, including weather, human error, and the plane's technical condition. The crew did not send any distress signals, and experts say they will be studying the plane's 2 flight recorders, as well as some of the around 500 plane fragments recovered so far. The aircraft that crashed was a short-haul regional Antonov AN-148 bound for the Russian city of Orsk in the Orenburg region that borders Kazakhstan.
And that's all we have for you on the program. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi.